call to order the Windsor Board of Education regular meeting for Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. Can we now stand for a pledge to the flag and moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can be seated. We're going to start with recognitions and acknowledgments. So I'm going to ask Dr. Haiti to take this one.
All right, so unfortunately, our student rep for the second semester is out sick today. He's not feeling well at all, so I did not want him to be here. So we will add it to the March meeting. We are going to introduce him and recognize him at the March meeting.
Thank you. We appreciate that and feel better soon, Andrew. I'll toss it back over to you, Dr. Haiti, for the recognition of Go Baby Go. I'm so excited.
All right. So in partnership with the Go Baby Go national program, CCSU and physical therapists from Connecticut Children's Medical Center and Windsor Public Schools at Sage Park, the Sage Park Go Baby Go cluster modifies ride-on toy cars for children ages 1 to 5 with limited mobility. This initiative is designed to foster early independence and socialization by providing custom-engineered solutions for children who otherwise lack the means to move around freely. Through this collaborative effort, the Sage Park Go Baby Go cluster has successfully completed 6 vehicles to date, directly enhancing the development, growth, and community integration of our local youth. And I would like to call Ms. Megan Rickus and Ms. Alicia Cycle up to Dr. Cycle up to explain a little bit about this amazing initiative.
We're also going to bring a student.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Hi, so I'm Megan Rickus. I've been working with the Go Baby Go program for over 11 years now. What it does is it brings students partnership with their communities, and then they prefab and modify and alter in terms to make the car more accessible over time so that kids with disabilities can access what they need to in terms of their mobility issues. We brought a car with us so we can show some of the modifications, but for example, instead of the foot pedal, the whole car gets rewired to a power button on the steering wheel. Each car gets fully adapted in terms of like comfortability, but sizing for each child. Backrests, seat belts, harnesses, whatever they need, along with additional like tethers if they need like steering supports. So I do most of the engineering side of this, where
I'm Alicia. I'm the physical therapist in district. As Christopher pointed out, doctor level degree. I worked with the therapists over at CCMC as well, so they've come over here to help us build, so they'll usually help find the children with needs. So it's usually children who have mobility needs, aren't yet walking, can't sit upright yet. And then Megan and I collaborate on how best to modify the car to then support that child. So if you have a child who can't sit upright yet or isn't walking, this gives them a great means to then be able to develop that independent mobility. And there's a big link between independent mobility and developments in cognition, social skills, and just everything. So it's a really great thing to do for these kiddos. This car right now we modified for a friend we brought into district. Mary kind of helped me get the car for a friend. I wanted to give this larger car. And even for this kiddo, he doesn't have independent mobility in regards to walking on his own. He uses adaptive equipment to walk. But he, since getting the car, when we gave it to him last spring, April-ish, now is initiating hitting the button. So he's getting that cause and effect. He's getting the idea to go. He's really excelling at that, which is awesome to see. We're just making some modifications again to it now to make it a little bit bigger since he's on Windsor. But these are also great community things. We did, I think, include some photos for you guys of other builds that we have in there, so you can see some of the tethers, you can see it. And the parents really appreciate this because it gives their kids a mobility means to be able to move in. If they have other siblings, they fit right in with their siblings. So like if you have a car with your typically developing 3-year-old, y'all can be out going down the sidewalk and having a fun time where it's also inclusive and you're looking like you would normally, and it's low cost, it's fully funded, and it's something simple that we can give back to everyone. And it's nice to have the student involvement, so we have Carter here, he's done the past three builds?
Three builds?
Three builds
Yeah,
with us.
Carter Lewis has been with us since I started running it as a cluster, so I figured he was the best student to show like the student perspective to you guys. So, if you want to just stay.
Won't bite.
Honestly, Go Baby Go is really great. I found a lot of friends from Go Baby Go because we've had to work together and work through certain like mishaps. And honestly, and helped me with my communication skills also, like overall.
Awesome.
We are doing another build in April. This is a slight pitch. So if you happen to know anyone, our goal is 4 cars, and we're going to run it during the school day instead. So a little bit of a different build setup than how we've done it in the past. So if you know anyone in the community or anyone that you think might be appropriate, we also added in the Go Baby Go flyer. So anyone in town or nearby would be willing to come into Windsor who might have some mobility needs, and this could be appropriate for them. We'd love to have them.
And the survey runs through the professors at CCSU who like are kind of the head people involved in Connecticut, and then the physical therapists through CCMC who understand all the medical, which is why I detail towards her to help me understand it myself.
But it's a great project. We were able to give a car to a Windsor student a year or 2 ago, I believe, that came from a friend's clinic and they happened to live in town. So we were able to kind of have that community outreach also. So, you know, anyone, like I said, feel free to have them fill out. They just have to fill out the Go Baby Go site waiver.
Yes.
And then let them know that they prefer to come to the one being the.
Cool, great. Questions? Mr. Madison?
Yeah, I have a couple questions for Carter. So how many years have you been doing this? 2, okay. Yeah, and like what specific aspects do you work on when you're doing this kind of thing? Like,
So I mainly work on measurements and like the rewiring. Because there's like a main frame where you have to like cut off the wires or like take off the rubber around the wires and twist them and put them in. So like I usually work on that and like connect them to the proper places where they should go so it actually works.
that's cool. Awesome, thank you.
Ms. Jacobson?
Is this giving you any concept of skills? Is this giving you any concept of skills you would like to use in the future? Do you have any idea of how you'd like to utilize what you're learning now?
A little bit. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, I can see this, like, these skills being used to, like, okay, so, like, one of my dreams is to become an engineer. So, I can see this being very useful when it comes to, like, what type of engineer I want to be. Yeah, there's not much more I can say, because...
I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, so.
Anyone else? Any questions or comments?
Just,
Ms. Davis?
thank you. If it breaks, who services?
So this one actually is in, as Alicia was saying, we're in the process of refabbing it. So it was originally fabbed and then the kid had a growth spurt and then it was brought back to me to update. So as the cars get like, the kids get a little bigger, they get a little older, we can like prefab some new stuff or alter what they have and, make it better for them. Sometimes, especially, and I've done this in the past with like really little kiddos, who like couldn't even stand, where they then came back and then we did like a sit-stand card for them instead. So like adapting a different kind of muscle format so that they can increase their independence and their skill levels.
So did it have to do like any kind of oil change, greasing, whatever? Charging. Yes, is it fail-proof? You know, because I'd hate for the kid to be like driving and it's stuck like, oh my God, who do we call?
We
No.
do like education with the parents, like how to use the tethers, we make sure they work, we kind of teach them how to pull like right and left with them, and then this one we gave a remote control option for, so that way the student could hit the button and then his care professional could help guide it and steer it. We could turn it on, I'm not the best at steering, I'm gonna be honest.
It's also really loud, FYI, sorry.
Oh, I didn't see a gap.
Your gaming skills, dude. Do you want to try driving across back and forth for them once? It is very loud, so.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But this one has some fun music to it too.
Oh,
I like my handicap.
Those little lights go on.
right?
The radio plays right now. So, this one should look like
It's coming right at you, Dr. Haney.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Not too loud.
Nah, it's not too loud.
Yeah. That's not
I
bad.
don't know.
That's normal loud.
Right.
Right? Oh my.
Got a muffler on it or something.
Oh,
Very nice.
Yes. Right?
Pretty cool.
I love little bumpers.
Yeah.
Yes, we do that for extra padding and protection for the kid, just to like support their body and their head.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
my.
one on the side is more so for him for hip guides and lateral supports, just give him some more seated stability and posture. So that's some more things that Megan and I kind of like will join in on. So if the kid has a hard time holding their body upright or needs a little bit more help, we kind of be like, I really just go to Megan with a wish list of things like this is what I would like in my life.
And I kind of just figure out how to do it.
Sometimes it's a little tricky.
Mr. Lockhart.
So, question: how many physical therapists work with you outside of yourself?
On this build, I usually coordinate with Jen. She's the PT from CCMC who's hired Go Baby Go. But Megan and I have been doing the last few builds kind of together. It really depends on the level of the need of the kids we were talking about for our next one in April. We have 4 kiddos who have been kind of how we've had for the past few times. Megan and I are fine running it. If we have 4 kiddos who have more advanced needs, then I would probably ask for another therapist to come in just to help out, because when you have more advanced needs and it's just a 2-hour build time frame, we want to be able to address every parent and child's needs appropriately. So it depends. But usually there's 1 or 2 of us out of the vet, depending on how large it is.
So, are you open to Windsor students that's going through physical therapy schooling right now to participate?
Yeah, I have a grad student with me right now, actually doing a clinical rotation. I have one in our last build too. I've had them back to back. So my last student did the build with me last year. My 2 who they were shadowing me last year came to this build for this car. So we've had students from CCSU also in the technology department come over as well to help out with builds. I think it's a great learning experience and something cool to see that's different. You don't always get to see this in your schooling. We kind of hear about it, but to be able to participate in an actual build is not always consistent across programs.
Well, for transparency reason, I'm asking because Xavier is in his doctoral program at Springfield College for physical therapy. And this would be something that he would, especially with the gaming aspect, he would geek all over this, so.
Yeah,
Welcome.
so the goal is we're gonna build the week leading up to spring break. So go through like the cycle with some, selected group of students and go through all the electrical wiring and rewire the car, reframe the car. And then with the parents and families coming in that Friday to take it home.
I also say he's welcome to come, but Mr. Since it's your building, she okay.
I will work through Ms. Jurgensen to see how that we can make that happen. So, thank you so much.
But no, you're willing to share, I can share my email with you if you want to reach out to me first to do it.
Thank you.
Mr. Madison and Mr. Halleck.
I'm an engineer. I want to give you one piece of advice. And it starts with Apollo 11, the rocket launch years ago. They were trying to get the rocket on the moon, or at least around it. And Apollo 11, when it launched, a few minutes after it launched, got hit by lightning. All the telemetry went blank. The rocket was still fine. It was still hurling into space. They had no communication, nothing. They had no visible gauges on how the rocket was operating. They still had communication to the ground, but they couldn't see a thing. And nobody knew what to do. And there was one person on the ground, in ground control, who said, hit the switch right behind your shoulder. ASC to aux is what it is, right? It's a signaling cleaning system. And the auxiliary setting resets all the telemetry. Nobody in the rocket knew that. Nobody in ground control knew that except for this one guy, right? He said, hit the switch. The guy hit the switch. Everything came back online. The mission was successful. Everyone survived. It was great, right? That one guy on the ground, a year before that happened, was working alone in a lab. And something was going wrong with the rocket that he had on the ground, right? They had the test kind of stuff all set up. And the equipment wasn't working right. And he couldn't figure out why. And it kept not working right. And he spent hours, days, whatever it was, digging into why that wasn't working. And he figured out how that system worked, alone in the lab a year prior. Nobody ever planned for a rocket to get hit by lightning. That was never something they tested, right? That rocket got hit by lightning, and he had an intuition. He said, you know what? I think if you hit that switch, it'll fix it. Because a year prior, he spent hours, I forget, days maybe, digging into this problem, and he knew that if you reset that, it reset the circuitry and everything worked fine. He saved their lives. He saved that mission. He was the only one who knew how to do it. He knew that because he dug in. So I'll give you one piece of advice. If you want to be an engineer, I don't care what kind of engineering you do, dig in. Dig in. When you have a problem, keep working on it, no matter how much it frustrates you, no matter how dark it gets before the dawn comes up, and I mean that literally, like if you work till the morning because you're solving a problem, do it. It's a beautiful thing. Dig in. That's all you got to do, and you'll succeed. That's how you become a great engineer.
That's awesome.
Engineer of the year.
Mr. Halleck, I don't know how we're going to top that one. Go, you got it. Go ahead.
That's a tough act to follow.
It is
No doubt about it.
Dig in, we can all use that. Dig in, everybody.
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you so much for all your efforts. And just a couple of questions. How many students are involved in the cluster?
So, I've had anywhere from like 16. If I count all the kids I've done this with, it's probably like more like 30. Because the clusters happen in 10-week cycles, so we've done it in different sections.
So they're kind of broken up then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've just been very fortunate to get Carter for all 3 of the ones that I've run.
He's digging in.
I think he's stuck with me now. Yeah.
Okay, great.
And do you guys feel you have enough funding and all that to do all the things you need to do, or?
So we've actually been very fortunate that CCSU got a major donation, and we've been getting the first couple builds we did. We actually got all the equipment donated from CCSU, from Dr. Michelle DeShino, and that's how we've been able to do it. And then I actually just received a WEF grant to run it in district, and that's funding our entire April build.
Very good. Thank you once again. I appreciate it.
Anyone else? Thank you so much. You know, I love this stuff. I really, really do. And first of all, I love the clusters regardless. But this is such an impactful cluster that really gives back, to your point, the community and has the value add that you can kind of see people use it that oftentimes have to sit out and not be able to participate. And so the kiddos that are able to participate due to all the hard work in the team, great job, Carter, and the team, keep it up. This is really, really, really awesome. And Mr. Madison and I, this is everything that we dreamed of when we want, the folks, not just in Windsor, but people to see all over the place what we're doing right here in Windsor and the collaboration. I'm a CCSU alumna, so I'm excited to hear you too.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So it's great to see that funding can come from places when it really matters. And so this is really, really great. And I'm really glad we were able to see it. Go, baby, go. So thank you very much.
Can you back it out? Yeah.
Yes.
Kay Turner, something else.
Oh, right, we need the pictures.
Oh, yes, we,
Can't leave yet.
yeah, we gotta go, baby.
Sit in it.
Yeah.
Not me. Dr. Haiti, come and take a picture. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you gotta do side view for the picture. Yeah. Oh, you want to point it? Okay, all right. Follow the photographer.
Dinner.
Paul, you want to take a ride?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Struck by lightning?
Yeah, there you go. Hit the right switch, you'll be okay.
All right, okay. Picture again?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we getting in the picture?
I'll see if she can get you. That's all.
Oh, jeez.
Want to get tall enough.
Yes. Yeah.
It sounds like a dirt job.
Oh, my God.
Hey. That's it, man.
We got a sewer for you.
Stay humble.
I won't start until you exit. That's okay.
All right, thank you, guys.
Nah, it's not that long. Yeah, you're good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, open the door. No workers' comp claims tonight.
Huh?
So no workers' comp claims tonight.
Yes.
Yep. You get it? There you go.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
That's awesome. Yeah.
Fantastic. Moving right along with the agenda. That was great. Audience to visitors. I'll have Ms. Daly do the spiel.
Good evening. This is Robin Daly from the Superintendent's Office. If anyone from the public would like to address the board, you may do so in two ways. You may type your name, address, and comment into the Q&A feature in the Zoom application, or you may speak by clicking raise hand or dialing *9 within the app. When you are called on to speak, you will be given 3 minutes to state your name, address, and comment. Please do not place the call on speakerphone. No comments will be made by the board at this time. At this time, there are attendees online, but there are no hands raised, and there are no comments in either the chat or the Q&A.
Okay. Anyone in the boardroom that wishes to speak, you have 3 minutes. At the 2-minute and 30-second mark, Vice President Lockhart will hold up his red card, and then at 3 minutes, he will permanently hold it up to let you know to wrap up your comments. Anyone in the boardroom wishes to speak? Oh. Okay. Unanimous consent to close audience to visitors? All right. Mr. Wilson? All right. Okie dokie. So we'll close audience to visitors and move right along to consent agenda. Is anyone need anything to be pulled?
Move the Board of Education approve consent agenda items 4A, financial report, 4B, enrollment report, 4C, food service report, and 4D, human resources report.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 900. Do we have a motion on approval of minutes? Is there anybody that need anything pulled first? Okay. I have a motion.
I move the Board of Education approve the minutes of the January 21st, 2026 regular meeting, the February 4th, 2026 public forum with Finance Committee meeting, and the February 10th, 2026 public forum with Finance Committee meeting.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor by Ms. Sauter. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Panos. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Opposed, abstentions, the ayes have it, 900. Thank you. There is always a delay on Zoom. Thank you very much. And we already heard from Dr. Haiti that our student representative will join us next month. So we'll just keep moving right along with the agenda. Okay, with me. All right, President's report. So just a brief report. I feel like we've been here before, but we weren't here for a regular meeting. We were here for Finance Committee meeting. So I feel like there's just a few things that I will share. It was great to support the Blazing Spirits the end of last month at the First Tech Challenge. It's always great to see not only our students, but students from around the state competing in robotics. And this just goes to show what we saw here with Go Baby Go, that we have a really great pipeline of talent to support those endeavors. So it was a great day. I know we didn't win it all, but that's okay. It was great to see all the students, and Ms. Davis was there, and I did bring greetings on behalf of the board, and I was there with the mayor, so it was really well attended, and always great to see our past president, David Fury, and the team there. They do so well. They had the Fidelco dogs. It was great. It was cold. Wasn't it, Ms.
Yes.
Davis? It was cold,
Yes, it
but we were
was.
there, yes.
Yes.
So it was really, really great to see. I also attended the Windsor High School Band Collaborative Concert, which was really cool to see because it included not only our amazing band, but also the band from Bloomfield High School and the University of Hartford Community division of the Hart School of Music's band as well. It was well attended. Wish more folks would have been able to come out, but there was so much going on in the district. At the same time, the girls' basketball team was playing and everything. We were able to win that. But it was really beautiful to see. And I didn't know we could fit that many instruments and people on the stage. And I was cringing a little bit because it was a lot of people. But it was beautifully done. And it's really great to kind of collaborate with our sister town, Bloomfield. And it's also great to see the adults that do the Hart School of Music there, the community division, and their conductor gave an open invitation to our students to come and try it out if they'd like to do some extra band stuff in the community. So it was beautifully done. Really, really, really great. What else have I done? Oh, the boys game. I attended the nail biter boys game with Dr. Haiti. Oh my. It was a great game. We lost by 1. Oh my gosh. It was a nail biter. But it was really great to see the entire gym filled with community and parents. And it was also the boys' senior night. So it was really well attended and a really great time had by all. And that is, oh, nope, I forgot. The Black History Month event that I attended at Windsor High School, where I ran into Mr. Lockhart. And I do believe Ms. Jacobson attended earlier in the day. Really great standout job. The MC, my niece, and our past student rep did a really great job, but they always do. Really, really, really great job there. So any questions for me? Pretty straightforward. Okay, awesome. So I'm finished with my report. And what I'll do now is toss it over to our Finance Committee Chair, Mr. Lockhart, to begin the proceedings on the recommendation from the Finance Committee and financial plan for the budget for next year.
To start the conversation, move the Board of Education accept the proposed 2026-2027 budget submitted to the board by Acting Superintendent Dr. Noha Abdel-Hadi with a 4.9% increase over the current year's budget.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Mr. Lockhart. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor by Mr. Lockhart, seconded by Ms. Sauter. Is there discussion, Mr. Lockhart?
I believe there's going to be a substitute motion. Madam President, if there is a substitute motion, I reserve the right as the chair of the committee to allow the substitute motion to be adjudicated and then come back to the main motion and speak to it first.
Okay, Mr. Panos?
I have a substitute motion. I move that the proposed budget for 2026-27 be reduced by $300,000 by removing the four proposed elementary second language teacher positions, reducing the budget from $93,714,400 to $93,414,400 for a 4.64% increase.
There's a motion, substitute motion on the floor by Mr. Panos. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. The motion is by Mr. Panos, seconded by Ms. Davis. And is there any discussion?
Before we begin, Madam Chair, if I may, could you ask Dr. Hadi or her staff if to verify the percentage would be dropped from 4.97? What would that percentage be with the minus $300,000?
Yeah. She answered that.
Well, 4.64 as well.
Yeah, I just wanted, just for the, to verify.
Minus just a flat 300? It would go to 4.64.
Thank you very much.
Okay. May I speak to the motion? Thank you. Just a number of points about this. Let's see. In reviewing the list of studies that Dr. Hattie sent us that support the value of second language at the elementary level, there are typically correlations, not studies showing causality. So they show good results in English language arts and sometimes math and IQ or whatever else for those students who took the elementary second language courses compared to other students who did not. The problem is that the selection process for determining which students took the foreign language course and which did not is not discussed in these things. For example, let's take high personal income districts will always show higher performance than low income districts as a general rule, even if they do not have an elementary foreign language program, regardless of it, they should put it. So like the list of districts that Dr. Hattie presented to us, if they add a foreign language program, it proves nothing that does not prove that their students do better academically than students from lower income districts like Windsor. These districts that presented are all high performing districts because the vast majority of the families are from high income earning families. One citation of the articles, for example, gives that there is a foreign language magnet school within the district and the students do well generally in all subjects. So they presented this as evidence. But again, that's just a correlation, not a causation. Parents who will choose to send their children to a world language magnet school will in general attach a greater value to academics than the rest of the parents. So the students at such special schools will show generally better results for English language arts also, and other subjects, due to the support and motivation they receive from their parents. So you can say the same thing for other special schools like art and music. Now, a second problem with this is that it's not typical to adopt such a new curriculum just from the budget process without a formal evaluation. The elementary world language program proposed should probably first have been referred to the curriculum committee for study and then reviewed by the Board of Ed and how it would be included in the general program, how it would be done, work out, and what data we need to collect to determine its potential effectiveness or its value for Windsor students. I would like to point out that a potential problem arises because the K-5 students being in the world language instruction will necessarily receive less instruction in English language arts, math, social science, or science, whatever it is, mainly ELA and math. And that's because the time to teach the foreign language is to be taken from the classroom teacher who teaches those subjects. Therefore, it's pretty obvious that there will be some instruction time loss in those subjects for the majority of the students because they will be at that time taking the foreign language. Now, if the foreign language instruction were added to the length of the school day, that would be another issue. So there would not be a loss of instruction time. But that's not what is proposed. So there's necessarily a reduction in instruction in these basic topics. If this can be done easily without significant loss in instruction, then, it's kind of difficult to understand. They could have added a teacher planning time, or something else, and used a para or substitute, and they could have used the time to add an extra course in ELA that emphasizes vocabulary building and more complex language skills. So that's the main thing here. I understand too one of the benefits here for of doing this is considered that there's insufficient teacher classroom prep time right now, and that is a separate problem. I don't think that should be addressed in this issue. So those are the beginning, the main comments that I have to say. I may have some more, but I think that it's I think this is a rush. I think we should wait a year, review this, try to understand it better, whether this is a fit for Windsor. I don't believe that we should just go in and wait and see. And so for that reason, I think it's premature at best. So those are my reasons. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Panos. I see Mr. Wilson's hand.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hey, hope everyone's doing well tonight. I just would like to say that I will not be voting in support of the substitute motion. If we just look back at the work we've done over the past few years, it's been really tough. I came on post-COVID, and since we've dealt with a lot of inflation, we've dealt with unfunded mandates and things that were imposed upon us via contractual agreements and just the cost of doing business in general. We really have to just take a step back and look at that. Like, we've been increasing our budget constantly and chipping away at our value. It's been pretty tough, you know, to watch this year after year. And even last year was very tough when we had the conversation about the Smart Start. You know, that was something that was very tough. And at the doors, I heard about that. You know, so we really have to look at what we're doing today and figure out what we can do to actually add value for our town. Because every year, the cost of business is going to increase. Inflation is only going to be greater next year. You know, we're only going to have to increase the salaries based on the contractual agreements again. We're not going to ever really be in some sort of, oh my God, we're going to cut the budget and we're still going to have an amazing school kind of situation ever. So it's like very delusional to even get to that point. We have to figure out what we have to do that can add real value. So people don't look at us like, why do you keep increasing my taxes then? If I'm losing this, and if I'm losing that. And for the price point, it's a very great act. You know, I have two friends of mine. They're both Black Jamaican young men, and they can speak Spanish fluently. And they have been able to use it at a professional advantage. When you get introduced to this at a young age, it only has a benefit. When you get into 6th grade and you start world language, it's not a brand new thing to you. You know, so I think we really have to think about the value add and stop trying to be as cheap as we can possibly be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Anybody else decided to speak to the substitute motion?
You go. You second
Ms.
it.
Davis?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Williston, and thank you, Mr. Panos, for your input. So I'd like to add to this conversation, it's not so much about the cost at all. $300,000 in the grand scheme of $93 million is not a lot of money, right? And it's not taking away from, I shouldn't say it's not taken away from Dr. Hattie's dream, because that's what you would like to see, right? And it's not speaking badly about what it is that you would like to do. I think I can speak for our, for the team here, that it does add value, right? But it's at this point, some of my concerns are, which wasn't really completely, I don't think I have all the answers. It's the some of the health benefits. I know it's $300,000. I wasn't sure if that $300,000 for those 4 staff members, if they're coming on as full-time, if the health benefits for these new hires, plus their families, because that was something that was brought up that caused our budget or our costs to go up, because that was like a big part of our budgetary problem, from my understanding, was the benefits that we had to pay out, right? So that was just something, that I was thinking of while we're here preparing to vote for this. What are the supplies and the technology that's going to be needed to sustain this, right? I know we have things in place, and we talked about software that we have and things that's there. How much of that will be used, or do we need more things to support these languages that we're going to offer? Another thing is, will these teachers have to diversify their lesson plan? And please correct me at any point, I'm open to a conversation. So the current teachers, from my understanding, they have an array of students in their classroom that they have to create lesson plans for, right? So will these language teachers have to diversify their lesson plan as well to accommodate the students that are in their classrooms, right? So I don't have the answers to those, so those are some of the concerns that I have. Will they be subjected to the same kind of behavioral classroom management strategies and protocols that these current teachers have. So some of what I've been hearing, just from talking with teachers, not just here in Windsor, from where I've worked before, part of the issues that they have is the management of the behaviors in the classroom. It often takes a little bit of time to regroup and reorient students when there are disruptions. And especially if it's, you know, frequent, and I don't know, I don't have any evidence to say that that's the case. Those are some of the concerns that I have. Should I hold on, or?
Do you want me to, because I have answers, and I also want to go back to Mr. Panos. He pointed out 4 things that I do want to provide answers. So I'm going to start with Ms. Maxine. So in terms of benefits.
One quick
Yes.
second. I do have some more, but I'm okay stopping here and then go on.
You know what?
Yes.
Then finish, and then she can.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah, all righty. All righty. Yeah, so so talk about the behavioral and the classroom management for these teachers as well. And will these same English language teachers, will they run into the same issue of not having enough time to plan their lessons? If I'm viewing them as regular teachers, right, will they run into that issue as well? And in going through the what do you call it? The thing that was by Shipman, you know, the mandates. There was a heavy dose of emphasis on literacy. I don't know if we can say that all our students at this point have mastered the English language, meaning, you know, in my eyes, to master, that you'll be a good writer, the grammar, right? Is the goal to teach words and culture, or to be able to impactfully master the art of writing and comprehension? Because, you know, if you understand comprehension, you could do math, English, science, and all those other things. Those are things that come first. How will these new language teachers manage the needs of our students needing specialized educational services, right? I would imagine that they would have to have some sort of lesson plan for these students as well. And those are some of the questions. Now, outside of that, I know while I was campaigning, there were parents that was asking about pre-K and where we are, you know, with that in our district, because many had to bring their students outside of the district. Also, while campaigning, I met college professors. And one of their biggest concern, and I heard it from 2 people, and of course in articles that I read here and there, one of the problems that they're facing is the reading level and comprehension level and writing skills, grammatical skills at the college level. They're like, these students should be coming to me prepared. Why am I teaching this over, right? So those are some of the concerns. And the other thing is, I know we need to perform, we talked about it last time, perform studies of how our school, how we can best renovate or upgrade our schools, right? And this is just in the broader context of the entire town, monies that the town is spending, that we really need to spend some monies on surveys to upgrade or to renovate our buildings, you know, to save and to efficiently use energy, to provide adequate capacity, and of course, the innovation of building creative learning spaces in a nice working environment. So it's not that 300,000, it's not so much about the money, I just have some questions around these things, and it has, because there's lots of great things in here. Besides this one little teeny weeny piece, and coming under 5%, I think is pretty good. And even, you know, a little bit lower, but those are just some of the concerns that I have.
All right.
Yeah.
So that was a lot, so please
Yeah,
bear with me.
I know.
So, and I hope I catched everything. So benefits, the price tag that we estimate for an additional teacher does include benefits. So that is included in that price. Differentiation, so all teachers, no matter what you're teaching, when you get your certification to teach anything K through 12, you are expected and you're taught to differentiate that, no teacher starts working anywhere expecting that they will be teaching to one level of student. So if you're a PE teacher or if you are a calculus teacher, you will be in front of a classroom. You might have 5 to 10 different levels, and the expectation and the training that teachers get is to differentiate. That's why we're adding a lot of tools to support teachers in differentiating. When you talk about the special ed component and the accommodation, again, that's why we have our special ed teachers that work in collaboration, our special education coach work in collaboration with teachers to make sure that students, not just because they have a disability, we're gonna, keep them out of the experience. No, they will be part of the class, just like they are a part of art, music, ELA, and math. And the teacher will be expected to differentiate based on the needs of the students. Your question about supplies and curriculum, and I'm gonna just loop in one of Mr. Pano's points in terms of curriculum. So the way the process works, during the budget process, we ask for staff approval. So that's why I put in for the 4 staff. Once the staff is approved, then we look at curriculum, and that's when curriculum goes through curriculum committee. That's why we've always been bringing like high school courses for board approval first, and then we go through a pilot. So we teach on a pilot curriculum, and then we bring it to curriculum committee. Once it's approved, it comes back to the board. So that has always been the process, that once we have a course approved or we have staffing for a certain program, then we go to curriculum committee to determine which curriculum we're gonna adopt. Just like any other program that we add, the first year of supplies or curriculum comes from instructional services. So that is then on me to make sure that I use my instructional services budget in a way that I can accommodate the curriculum pilot that we're gonna start on next year if the 4 language teachers are approved. Managing behavior in the classroom, again, that is not different than any other teacher. I don't know why we're looking at the language teacher differently, but just think of it as an art teacher or a PE teacher. They are expected to manage behavior. We have a lot of support staff. We have behavior technicians. We have SEL specialists. So it will just be another class and that is supported just like anybody else in the school. Teacher not having enough planning. So because we have experience with our specialists, so this is only going to be just an additional special. So we already have specials in place, and we know that they have enough time in their week to get their planning time. So the issue of not having enough planning, that is not an issue because we already have specialists that are reaching all students either once a week or once every 2 weeks based on the school, and they do get their allotted planning time per contract. The comparison to pre-K, I just want to make sure that, to the public, it would cost the district $2 million to add a pre-K. I would be the first one to go out there and rally for pre-K. I believe in universal pre-K. If you guys can approve $2 million, I would add it right this minute. So, the 300,000 versus the 2 million, the 2 million is something that is just not feasible at this time. But I don't believe that because we can't do something great, then we shouldn't look at adding anything else or staying with the status quo. I'm gonna pick back up with Mr. Pano's the 4 different issues that he raised. So the first one, talking about the correlation and not the causation. So Mr. Panos argues that, the research only supports that high-performing districts do well because of their income and not because of the language instruction. So I just want to make sure that we all understand, when I shared the list of the districts that offer language, I wasn't sharing it to show you that high-income districts are offering language. I'm just showing you that high-performing districts, these are the enrichment and programs that they offer their students. So they believe that their students deserve to be to get a world-class education, and they offer that program. I can't control our income, our family income, but I can control what we can provide our students at a very, I consider it, like you said, 300,000 versus 93 million is a very low cost. So I believe that our students, not because they come from low income, the argument that Mr. Panos is trying to make, that I can't control that. And I can't say that because we have lower income than the district presented, then our students are low performing and thus they don't deserve to have different programs. There is a lot of research. Yes, the two studies that I shared happen to be correlational studies because that's the research at the educational level in district. But there are, if you had gone down to all the references, there are over 20 longitudinal and experimental studies that are looking just at cognitive benefits to second language without even looking at income, at household income. So that factor is held constant while they look at the cognitive benefits of the second language. Also, part of the references that I shared, a lot of neuroscience research that shows how the structural brain actually changes and the differences in students that are exposed to second language versus students who are not exposed to second language. So all of these things have nothing to do with your household income or, if you happen to be in a wealthy district or not. So, I just want to make sure that we're not, so let's see, your second point was, so I talked about the curriculum going to curriculum committee. So we approve staff first and then we go. Okay, so the point about ELA and math, this argument that students, we don't have enough time, and if we had time, let's give them just more language instruction. So actually research shows that if you just add more time to ELA or math, that will not give you any additional benefits in terms of student performance. The assumption that more seat time equals higher achievement has been proven by research that it doesn't work. And actually, if you look at the top countries from Singapore, Finland, actually their seat time is way less than seat time in the United States. So the amount of minutes does not correlate to academic performance. However, when you look at providing enrichment, which that's what I'm trying to do with the language addition of the language program, that's enrichment. Students are more focused, more engaged when they are doing enrichment such as art, music, PE, and language. So the hope here is that we're taking 30, 45 minutes away a week from an entire week of instruction in order to engage students in something that is not even just a random thing. It is proven to help with vocabulary acquisition, with phonemic awareness, with grammar awareness, and reading comprehension, both in the language and in English as well. The prep time argument that, that should not be the driving force. It was never, giving teachers additional planning time was kind of like an added bonus. Like I said, that the addition of a language program has been in my mind, just because I do believe that Windsor deserves us to give kids more opportunities. We can't just sit here and say, well, we're, a low-income family district, which we're really not. Our medium household income is not, we're not considered low income at all. But I don't believe that we should sit here and say, because our kids are not performing well based on some metrics that the state has put in place that is dependent on an ASBAC test, then our kids don't deserve anything else until we get our scores up there. If that works, it would have worked a long time ago because we have been staying at the status quo level for so many years. And like Mr. Wallinston said, we're going to increase our budget every year because the cost of living goes up. But we're not doing anything new. We're not doing anything innovative. We're not doing anything to show our families that we believe that our kids deserve better. And I just don't think that other districts, are any better than us to provide their kids with more enrichment opportunities. No. That's my.
Thank you, Dr. Haiti. Anyone else on this side? Okay, Ms. Jacobson, and then I'll go back to this side.
Just to speak.
Just to speak to Mr. Wollaston's point, and to Dr. Hady's point, I do agree that it's been a hard run over these last few years as an outsider to watch education where we are constantly trying to underfund it while getting the same results. So I would like to see us starting to go in the other direction, exploring what we can do that really gives our students every possible benefit we can give them. Anecdotally, I work with somebody, a programmer who is German, and they do start teaching English language courses around 45 minutes a week, around the age of kindergarten, and he is fluent, and that is just a matter of course. In most European countries, it's a matter of course that they learn English. Obviously, we already know English, so we've got to, we're going to have to diversify our languages. I would love to see this expanded into Chinese, because I think that would be a great language for people to know. And then just as an aside, to Mr. Panos's point about all the data points he mentioned, and I'm probably borrowing from what Ms. Tracy Zotter said, that there's so many data points to explore that we can neither say that correlation equals causation, but we also can't say that correlation doesn't equal causation. There's so many data points in there that that argument doesn't hold water to me, but that was it.
Thank you, Ms. Jacobson. Anybody, Mr. Halleck and then Ms. Zotter?
Thank you. I just want to start with I like the Spanish part of it. I think that's a really good thing. It's obviously it's the second most spoken language in the United States. So I think there is a value there. Well, I think we just want to make sure that we dot all of our I's and cross all of our T's before we go into this and make this a permanent budget item. That's why that's why I would really recommend us sending it to curriculum so we can get this so we can get all the work done, bring it back next year, and implement it and hit the ground running. I think that would be the best way to go. I do, like I said, I do think there's a lot of value in it. I've seen it, in my son as well. So I get that. So I'm not saying no forever. I'm just saying no at this very moment.
Thank you, Mr. Halleck. Ms. Zotter?
So I'm probably the one person sitting on this side that had reservations about this. And right, I am. I'm going to be completely honest. To some of the things that Mr. Pano said, but also to some conversations that I had with teachers where they feel like they don't necessarily even have enough time to teach the new curriculums that they're getting. That being said, this is not my area of expertise. And you've been to and talked to educators across countries, not just locally. So while I still might have some reservations, I think I trust your expertise and the fact that this is what you do every day. Because I'm not a teacher. I do not build curriculum. I think the reason that we have the people that we have here is because they're smarter than we are in a lot of ways, and this happens to be one of them. So I guess, to the point that you were making, I think it needs to be something that we have in place before it can go to curriculum, if I heard that right. Like, we can't build a curriculum, or it wouldn't make sense to build a curriculum and then try to get the staff. We'd have to have the staff to then build the curriculum, which makes sense. And then I think that it would be interesting, because I know we do a lot of data too, just to like keep an eye on it and let's prove disbelievers, you know, one way or another. But I appreciate everything, all of the information you sent. I had to read everything like 3 times, and I still kind of have questions around it. But I think at the end of the day, while I do maybe have some slight reservations, I trust your recommendation. And if you think that this is something that's going to benefit our students and benefit our families, then it's going to be a yes for me.
Mr. Penos?
Yeah, let me just address a few things that, you know, it's not that I don't want to offer opportunities. That's not why, that I'm mean. And don't want to offer opportunities for it. So, in point of fact, this is what I'm talking about. This is, students have to have a dominant language in which they think and which is sophisticated. It is simply not necessary to know a second language for this, and I'll speak from experience. I was raised with 2 languages, but it was after school, it was weekends and stuff like that. Now, I'll point something else to. If you learn a second language, you'd better have a place to use it. Otherwise, it's going to lose you. It's going to leave you. So, but if, you know, if all, my point is, we have to have all our kids on or above the grade level before we give them something more. A second language is nice, and all that sort of thing, but I think we have to do things first, you know, so make sure that the vast majority of our students, that when they're leaving the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, that they're on or above in ELA, as well as other subjects. And, you know, there's a value I see to having a second language in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and on up, especially in high school, because at that point, you introduce necessarily certain grammatical concepts which are necessary, which are not normally introduced when people take English or English language arts. For some reason, we do not do a lot of grammar when we teach English, so I think there is a value to it at that level. I don't think this is going to add materially to it to have K through 5 learning, you know, a few words a week to it, or to help with it. And it's certainly not going to help at that point for the learning of ELA or math or anything else, because as one of your points was that it gives you better thinking abilities. As several of the articles that were in there say that it helps all topics because it changes your way of thinking. There is a lot of evidence. I'm just getting points to the idea of correlation. There is negative evidence. You know, there are many people. Let's put it this way: we have many people who are raised with 2 languages in many cities here in Connecticut. And the data does not indicate that they are, you know, on level at ELA, you know, by the 8th grade. They're struggling. So there is negative data to it. And once you have negative data, that's the most important thing in determining something. Otherwise, you run into the problem of correlation. In other words, there's a lot of self-selection of whenever they have a special program. You know, those parents who are most interested in pushing their kids academically choose specialized programs to send on, and that includes on language. And so you will find a positive correlation. It's always easy to find positive correlations. The problem is you have to be sure that there are no negative. And unfortunately, the fact that someone is raised with 2 languages does not necessarily mean that they're going to be superior students in ELA and in English. It's nice to have, but like I say, unless you use it, it's not going to do you much good. Usually, the language you should want to do is those that you have, that you will use. For example, if you come from a certain ethnicity and you have relatives who speak the language and you're going to speak it regularly, that's going to be of value. Or if you have a business or something like that. Now, it's possible to be in communities, I suppose, in the United States where you use a lot of Spanish. It might be of value. So that's why we choose it. But I just will push back a bit on that, the idea that we have the solution to all our problems. Just all we have to do is give them foreign language in the beginning of kindergarten, and this is going to make ELA and everything else go up. And
So
it's gonna,
I just want to make sure I'm not saying that this is the solution for
this
all our problems. That is not what I said. This is not the solution to all our problems. This is simply, you mentioned that parents who pushes their kids, they choose to pay and maybe send them outside of school to special programs to learn a second language. I see myself as the parent here in Windsor Public Schools that I'm going to push that onto all our kids because I do believe of the benefit of the enrichment it provides. I'm not saying it's going to solve all our problems. We have 60% of our kids who are at or above grade level in K-5. Those 60%, if nothing else, deserve that enrichment. And then the 40% who are not, that's why we're focusing on tier 2 and tier 3 support. So we're still going to give them support to make sure they get to grade level, but that doesn't mean because I'm not at grade level in ELA or math, then I don't deserve anything good until I get to grade level. It's just, the concept is very, it's just, to me, it's like, you have a child and you're like, until you know how to, I don't know, tie your shoes, you can't have candy. It's just like, no, I'm going to help you learn a skill and I'm going to help you tie your shoe, but I'm also going to give you these extra things that might encourage you to even try harder or even do better.
Well, I certainly don't want to take away anything the kid deserves. That's not the point. The point is, our main focus is the main purpose of the language is really not just to communicate, but it's to think. And that's done in a particular language, not two. There are studies, by the way, that indicate, for example, bilingual education in Hartford was tried in the beginning in the late 60s, and went for about 10 years, and it was a bit of a disaster. They were taught both languages, the same thing, and they had to modify it drastically in the end of the 70s. And the reason is because they didn't have a strong language. So it actually can inhibit. So you have to keep these things separate. So it's not a question of, it's precisely because I think the kids deserve a good education. That's why we're doing it. And giving them extras, more extras that pull them away from the basic courses is not doing them a favor. They deserve a good, solid language from which they can think with ease, and they would probably benefit at that age by having a much more rigorous program in vocabulary building and in grammar.
But we
if
have
you could
that.
do that, but it's not going to be done by taking time away from the dominant language at that point.
So with all due respect to Hartford, Hartford is not my role model. I'm looking at like countries and other districts that are definitely we should be looking for when it comes to that. Again, all research, and I would welcome if you can find me a piece of research that shows otherwise. All research shows that more seat time does not lead to more academic performance. If you can find a piece of research that shows the opposite, I would be very interested to look at it. So the idea that because some of our kids are not at grade level yet, we don't want to add anything. So with the same argument, why are we giving them art, library, PE, health? Like, we should then take all of this away and then put them in ELA all day long and math.
Well, You're saying to do that, I'm not. But
No, I'm just saying, like, if we're using this argument that, you know, like, we need more time for vocabulary and math and ELA.
Something for a large percentage of our students, there is something missing. I mean, you remember I asked the question, are we going to do this for all students?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, oh, yes, and it's wrong because they, like you say, they all deserve it. Well, all right, that's nice. The question is, what do they need most of? That's what it is. You know, are you going to, you can do, especially if it's in lieu of the normal, the dominant language of, you know, ELA, math, whatever science and social science that you do. That's my point. If we, you know, I would not make a blanket statement that adding instruction time doesn't do any good. I'm sure, I don't think that's true. There's plenty of evidence that you know, people buy extra time. They send their kids for extras, for instruction, you know, after. This is very common, by the way, in many European countries, and in Asian countries, that they'll actually pay for extra, after school.
It's the quality. So they pay for higher quality from what they're getting in the school. That's why, so like families that pay a lot of money to send their kids to like Kumon or all these, you know, Singapore math and all of that, it's because there is a different quality in the program so that students are learning differently from what they're getting in the school.
That's not what I'm referring to. There are terms in European languages about this. This is like tutoring after school. In fact, East Indians do this frequently. They'll have their kids, you know, tutored or sent to a school after, in order to prepare them to give them. They'll go to the regular school, and then, you know, after school, they'll go for an hour in the evening or something. This is very common in many parts of Europe, and this is one of the reasons, you know, why they, you know, do it. It's a very, by the way, high stakes tests oriented society. You know, there are other factors to the reasons why they do these things. You know, in Europe, there's no fooling around. You take the Abitur in Germany, and you either pass that thing or you cannot even apply to college. You know, you don't even get a diploma. You know, you take a national test. So, and you have to retake it or whatever it is. So, it is, you know, I'm afraid it is true that there are people who do extra training at the end after public school is over. They'll do stuff that's in the evening. So there is more training, more time. You know, I'll admit if you were doing 12 hours a day, it might be a little bit much, but you know, I wouldn't say that it just, you know, what is the magic number of hours that beyond which you can't go? Is that where we are? I mean, I think that we could lengthen the day. I mean, there are I think there are systems around to say that, you know, we should have another hour, but it's very expensive to do that. So anyway, it looks to me like it's taking time away from instruction, which I don't mean, you know, which they deserve. So, you know, deserving is the word to use here. I do believe, like I say, that there is at the sixth grade, seventh grade and up, when you take grammar, if you're using this, you know, you begin to learn, you know what moods are, subjunctive moods, conditional mood, you know, versus indicative mood, and all these endings that you have for the various tenses of the languages when you study French or Spanish. You know, and these are things which are kind of taken for granted in English when it's taught, especially in the United States, without a heavy program of grammar. And so, you know, in direct object, indirect object, and why the word order reverses and all that. So the French teachers have to resort to talking in that kind of technical language, and this is, I think, grammar and understanding of grammar in general is beneficial. So I'll grant it at that level. It's worth doing, but it does indicate that our ELA program should could use a bit more heavy duty grammar and vocabulary building. So I don't think that this is justified here at this point. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Madison, Ms. Jacobson, Ms. Davis.
Call the question.
Oh,
Wait, I have something to say.
I understand that. I don't believe anyone's vote's being influenced at this point. I call the question.
You have a,
That's where we are.
like that.
you need a majority, you need a two-thirds.
Hold 1 second, let me go to Ms. Jacobson, back to Ms. Davis, because folks want a second bite in my little locker voice.
Point of order.
Oh,
Yes.
I've called the question.
Okay.
okay, but
Now-
that takes a
It
two-thirds
takes a
vote.
2/3 vote.
I understand, but it requires an immediate two-thirds vote.
Okay.
Okay,
If people want to keep talking, go ahead and override me, please do, but I'm calling the question.
okay, all right.
Do we take, okay, so,
Mr. Panos, do you have a question about
yeah, well,
the
you
motion?
need, no, yeah, the motion is, okay, so it takes a two-thirds vote right now.
Okay, so he said to call the question, does he need a second?
It's not debatable.
Is
It's
there-
not,
okay.
it's not, no
All right.
discussion.
Okay,
Just
so we
call
have
for a
to-
vote.
Okay,
All those in,
favor to call the question? We're gonna have to do a roll call. We're gonna have to do a roll call to get the 2/3.
This is Robin Daly from the Superintendent's Office. Maxine Davis.
No.
So wait a second.
Wait, right?
Wait a minute, so,
We need to clarify which.
so we're calling for a call to question. If you are voting yes, you are agreeing that we should end debate and call for the question, which is the vote on the current substitute motion.
Right.
If you vote yes, if you vote no, that means you vote against it, you don't support it.
We can keep talking.
that's right.
That's
So,
correct.
And
no.
if that's where we
So
are,
if
it's cool.
you, if you wanna keep
Yeah.
talking,
Say
vote
no.
no.
Right.
If you don't, if you wanna call the vote yes. That's the simplest way I can put it, Madam Chair.
Right, right. So if I say no, I just want to be able to say what I have to say and give Ms. Zeller a
Absolutely,
chance.
and that's totally cool.
That's correct.
And, because we were not going to be here much longer, but I just need to be able to say something.
Thank you, and that's no.
Yes.
Jeremy Halleck.
No.
Becky Jacobson.
Yes.
Leonard Lockhart. James Madison.
Yes.
Paul Panos.
No?
Ayanna Taylor.
Yes.
Nathan Wollaston.
Yes.
Tracy Zotter.
Yes.
6 yes. 3 no. No abstentions. Passes.
Okay. All right. Call the question. All right.
So we are on the substitute motion, am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're calling the question on the substitute motion. Mr. Panos, can you restate your motion
Okay.
for the listening public and for anybody who may be confused about what's going on?
Substitute motion. I move that the proposed budget for 2026, 2027 be reduced by $300,000 and remove the 4 proposed elementary second language teacher positions, reducing the budget from $93,714,400 to $93,414,400 for a 4.64% increase in the budget over last year's.
Ms. Daly?
This is Robin Daly from the Superintendent's Office. Maxine Davis.
So, and that's all I can do is answer yes or no.
You're allowed to make a brief statement on it.
So, since it's a roll call vote, you are allowed to make a brief statement that will be verbatim to support your vote. It will be verbatim in the minutes of why you voted the way you voted.
So,
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
yeah,
It's a roll call vote,
yeah,
and then
There's no discussion.
you can explain why you voted the way you voted.
yes. I don't know if this is going to be correct or how it's supposed to be. What I wanted to say, this was not about the money. It was not about giving students opportunity. Dr. Haiti answered my question to say that once it's approved, there'll be a curriculum discussion and it would be piloted. So based on all of that, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna vote yes to Paul Panis. It's not that the budget's not going to pass or anything of the sort. The kid's going to be denied. I just wanted to be able to have the opportunity to ask those questions, and you did answer my questions. And I just still have a little bit of reservation about it. And it's not that it's not good, and it's not that I don't trust your expertise. It's not that I don't trust the expertise of our teachers or, our curriculum specialists. I just had some reservations, and if I had a little bit more, assurances that this would be okay, I don't see why not wait another year till some of this gets worked out and put in place. So on that basis, that's why I'm voting, yes with Mr. Panis. I don't know if that was right, but.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay? All right, okay. Yes. Thanks.
Jeremy Halleck.
Yes, more work needs to be done on this item before it is approved.
Becky Jacobson?
No.
Leonard Lockhart?
No.
James Madison?
It's a great idea, but times are tight, yes.
Paul Panos?
Yes.
Ayanna Taylor?
No.
Nathan Wollaston?
No.
Tracy Zotter?
No.
4 yes, 5 no, does not pass.
So we're back to thank you, Ms. Daly. We're back to the original motion. Mr. Lockhart.
Thank you. So as a board, we're sitting here and we are definitely grasping the sense of urgency and profound responsibility that we, all 9 of us, have at this day is to really discuss what's going on with our educational system and how we fund it. In my opinion, I believe our schools and public education at a whole, we're at a very, very critical crossroad. And we've had numerous years of difficult budget cycles that were very painful, marked by cuts, rising costs beyond our control, and with a heavy burden of unfunded or funded mandates, both from the state and federal level. We find ourselves at a moment where we must choose between further erosion of our services or a firm commitment to Windsor and our children. I'm here in full support of the budget as presented at 4.9% increase, especially in the face that it came after it was reduced down from a 6.14 rollover type of a budget. We are trying to really catch up over the past several years of cuts that we've had to make to certain programs and stuff. And I believe that this board really has an appetite to really turn the page in an effective manner that we can come together collaboratively to make that happen. We don't know what's going to go on in the national level as well as the state level in the area of policy and funding, but the one thing we can control is what we do here in Windsor and what we want for our children. And at times that's going to put us in some very difficult conversations in what we want to afford and what we want to provide for our children, from kindergarten all the way up to graduation, and what does that profile of a graduate looks like and what can we do to sustain it. We're also at a point where the acting superintendent presented a budget that laid out a clear roadmap of where we were and the monies that were saved in this particular budget. And, you know, she did it through administrative reductions. She did it, I believe, in my opinion, through fiscal efficiency. And she put a lot of the stuff that she's adding, as I classify as direct student support, with additional school social worker, a school nurse, as well as an additional board-certified behavioral analyst, doing things that we've been trying to do for a long time. We also have to keep in mind, out of the 497, 475 of that were fixed costs in the area of contractual obligations, employee benefits, transportation, and physical plant. We've also heard some of the struggles about we're self-insured with our health plan. We had a very bad experience last year with $2 million. This year, it's a proposed $1 million. As you know, this board, we've tried to work with the town and the taxpayers to see if that could be, shared on the town side some way. A lot of people feel that our budget is inflated because of that $2 million plus this $1 million, which I don't think is fair to our employees, because at the end of the day, contractually and morally, we should provide them the best health care coverage that we can possibly provide for our staff. But that comes at a cost. Overall, Dr. Hady's been talking about the North Star and the directions that she's taking this district, and we've asked her to really step out in a bold way with her thought of thinking. And she did not come with a prototypical budget. She came through with something where it added 10 paraprofessionals. She's added different things in support. She even added the piece about the 4 world language teachers. I have openly shared that, I grew up in Hartford, and Hartford Public Schools even offered Spanish at a very young age. I was getting Spanish as early as I can remember, 3rd grade, throughout the rest of my years through Hartford Public Schools. And I lived in an area where it was predominantly, I lived predominantly with Hispanic-speaking individuals, and it really brought that unity together, and probably understood Spanish a little bit more than I understood English based off of my academic progression. So I can really, really appreciate the second or third language. Overall, we want to make sure that excellence is not selective, and I don't think that's what we're trying to do. But we want to make sure that success depends on very much collective responsibility, not as just as a board of ed, as a town council, as a district, but as a town as a whole. We've spent many years of cutting and cutting and cutting. Reevals has played into that. Different fiscal situations has played into that. Flat funding from the state, as far as our ECS funding, has played into that. But we also, I must acknowledge that we have benefited from not being cut because we're an alliance district where other people were getting their ECS funding cut. So I have to acknowledge that. But at the end of the day, I believe this was a budget that I believe is responsible. It was forward-thinking. It gave us a lot to think about with the debate that's going on right now. And I believe this is something that we can build upon year over year. We are mindful of the fact, I am mindful of the fact that we're going to have a reeval in another 2 years. We don't know what that's going to look like. We also respectful of the fact, I am respectful of the fact that the town council side is going to have some pressures on their side that they're going to have to deal with financially, and we want to make sure that we're working hand in hand with the town and our citizens to make sure we provide the best educational process for our children. So I'm in full support of the 497. Anyone that knows me knows that I would love to add more to this budget. I've openly shared that during the committee, but I don't think this is the right time for me to be making those asks. I would love to add another $2 million for universal pre-K. I would love to bring more supports into the classroom. I would love to put more tier 2, tier 3 supports into the classroom. I would love to make sure that we have more than enough resources for our staff to be able to deliver that world-class Finland of Connecticut type of educational process of the United States. At the end of the day, I'm realistic as a fellow taxpayer of this town that wants the best for everybody. At times, we just don't have it. But I believe this particular budget is a responsible budget that puts us in a good place to stop regressing and for once moving in the right direction. So for that alone, Madam President, I will be voting in favor of the 497.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak to the original motion? Mr. Connors?
I will not be supporting this motion, and it's largely because of the reasons that I gave before. I think that these are, adding niceties. We need fundamental changes in the way things are organized. That's the problem. It's not just simply adding things. We have added more and more staff now than we've ever had. And it really seems like we're having difficulty making progress. I can, go through the history, the number of staff that you had, let's say 30 or 40 years ago, let's say for K through 6 at JFK, left plenty of room for any time anybody could drive there. Today, if you try to get into that, it's very difficult to find a place to park. We have a lot more staff per student today. We have a lot more programs today, and yet we struggle. So it seems that the way we organize things has to be examined. The way our policy requires that students are supposed to be on grade level before they are promoted. Yet, it's obvious from the data, SBAC, iReady, whatever, that that has not taken place. So something has happened, and so I don't think that adding programs like this addresses the issues, this is, it's certainly not the worst budget I've seen here, I don't mind it. It will pass, but just to show that I just don't think that this addresses our concerns, and so I will not be supporting it. Thank you.
I am going to support this budget, and I would just like to say, comparing teachers and staff to what it was decades ago, the needs of students have changed. And there were students that would not be in the public school system that are able to be in the public school system now because we have that staff and that support, where they would have been sent elsewhere or not educated at all because of disabilities that they had. So I think that there's no further discussion we could really have had, even related to the additional language teachers. I'm not quite sure what more we could have discussed that would have landed everybody on the same page. I very much appreciate the fact that you sacrificed existing positions to get the positions that you needed and that your staff were telling you they needed. Because at the end of the day, we're sending our kids there. They're responsible for educating them. And I think the fact that you're listening to what they're telling you and what they need to successfully do that is a wonderful thing. I love the culture that you're building. I love the curriculum that's being brought in. I'm very excited to see the changes that are able to be made with the new bookworms as it progresses over the next couple of years. So I'm very excited for you to be able to present this budget as is to the town hall. Thank you so much, and just appreciate you.
Anybody on this side? Ms. Davis?
Jeez, I'm speaking a lot. This is I hope this is the toughest it gets for me. Right? I can't say it enough. It's not about the $300,000. I just want to make sure that that is clear. Once this budget is approved, I believe that's going to be a mainstay that part of the educational process for the Windsor students will be a mainstay. It will be something that has to be funded from here on in, right? Regardless. It will either stay the same or expand, but that amount of money will be on the hook, and of course, it will cost more in the future. So I am comforted knowing that the simple answer you gave and trusting that if you are the superintendent, that you'll be sure that this is the results that you intended to have happens, along with the other things that Mr. Panos has mentioned. And I know sometimes it comes off as if he's against what we're doing, but I speak to Mr. Panos privately, and his intentions for the school district, just like yours, it may come from a different lens, is that the students deserve the best. And I think we all agree to that. So, on that note, and we discussed this is really not a bad budget. I didn't see anything in here that jumped out. So like, oh my God, they were well justified considering the rate of increase that you're asking for and what it's for. I think we all agreed at the very beginning that it was very reasonable. And I think that was the only piece. And it wasn't about reducing the budget because it's a drop in the bucket, right? It's just making sure that what we're adding to it for future to come, that's going to be an added expense or cost, moving forward, right? So we have to make sure that I think we keep a good eye on that, get a good return for our money. And that's all I have to say, about that. So I need to say something else now? Okay, that's it. Okay.
You good. Anybody else? Mr. Wilson, anybody else would like to speak to the original motion?
Yeah, I don't have much more to say than what I said earlier, but I'm very pleased with this budget. As I mentioned before, it was really tough last time around, but I think we were able to do some things that can increase value while staying pretty reasonable. I don't think $300,000 is the hill to die on this time around, but I get it. Everybody is looking through it at the budget with their own specific lens. I just do believe that this is the best possible direction for us to go at this time. Thank you.
Anyone else speak to the original motion? Okay, so I agree. The responsibility that we have is oftentimes I think people minimize it, but it's a lot of difficult work to pull apart what any superintendent puts in front of us, because if we had, all the infinite amount of funding that we could possibly have, we'd have all the bells and whistles. We'd have all the new schools. We'd have all the, brand new uniforms for this sport or that sport every single year. We wouldn't have to do it on a rotation. We're really doing a lot of great stuff with minimal budget. And so when I look at what we have in front of us, when my time here on the board, it was through COVID, and we had to make some decisions, and then we had ESSER funds, then we don't have them, and trying to realize, like, where do we cut things when we were so passionate about them, or we see things coming from the great work that we're doing, and then 2 years later, we have to make a decision to either cut it or, deal with it next time. I'm sick of dealing with it next time, because next time comes and we cut again. We never go back and go, remember that great idea or that great initiative or that great program? We never go back. We never go back and say, you know what, that was awesome that we did that and we were really seeing strides. We never do. And it's unfortunate that we never get the opportunity to go back, because our hands are tied. Right. It's so important that we keep things in perspective when we're thinking about our kiddos in this district, when we're thinking about our amazing staff and educators in this district that we pay folks well, so we keep them. There's a culture and a climate in our classrooms and in our buildings that people want to stay here. And we provide a quality education for these amazing kids. And if we can just lift it just a little bit, that's worth it to me. If we can just move the needle just for a moment, that's worth it to me. Because ever since I've been on this board, appointed in 2018, I see the cuts year after year after year. And this is such a great budget that not only did we do some shifting, moving and grooving, but we added some things back that you just don't see that. So I will be supporting the motion as presented. Well done to you and your team. It was hard to do. I don't know how. I really don't know how, but I believe that when we're thinking about the North Star, when we're thinking about all the things that we want to do, we got to move the needle, if only for a smidgen. It seems so little, but I think it's going to pay off in dividends in time. So I'll be supporting the motion. So with that, I believe we're ready to call the question.
This is Robin Daly from the...
Are you somebody else want to talk?
So,
You did?
I'll call this question.
Okay. I thought everybody said they were done. Okay, cool. We can call it. But unless you wanted to speak.
We need a vote. We need a vote.
We need a
vote 2/3, or we can.
Or yeah, I didn't know if you were finished. I thought everybody was finished speaking, but we can certainly continue going. No?
No, that's fine.
You're good? Okay. Ms. Daly.
This is Robin Daly from the Superintendent's Office. Maxine Davis.
Oh, God help me. Yes.
Jeremy Halleck.
Yes.
Becky Jacobson.
Yes.
Leonard Lockhart.
Yes.
James Madison.
Yes.
Paul Panos.
No.
Ayanna Taylor.
Yes.
Nathan Williston.
Yes.
Tracy Sauter.
Yes.
8 yes, 1 no, no abstentions. Passes.
I still love you, Mr. Perry. I love you. You did boo, right?
That's very easy for me.
Mr. Lockhart.
So, Madam President, I just want to say thank you to the board. I want the listening public and the board to realize this is no longer the acting superintendent's proposed budget. This now becomes the Board of Education's approved budget. So any reference to the acting superintendent, it should be, no, it's our approved budget until it goes through referendum. So I want to make sure that we take ownership of this vote, as well being empathetic to the lone dissenting vote, and to be empathetic to all of the points that were made against the points throughout the budget. But they're all valid, and this is a complete board budget. So I want to make sure that when we're engaging, we engage with that sense of ownership.
Thank you, Mr. Lockhart. Appreciate everyone and their due diligence and conversation on our lengthy, but I think it was a good time spent discussing that. So with that being said, we're going to move right along with the agenda to the acting superintendent's report. Dr. Haiti?
All right. So on Tuesday, February 3rd, at Windsor High School, we had our Raising Children in the Age of Digital Age workshop. It was hosted by our Office of Family and Community Partnership. We had a great turnout, a lot of amazing conversations between families and our staff, meaningful conversations about, social media and gaming, and I think a lot of good ideas came out of it. Our next family workshop will be on restorative practices. It will be on March 24th at 6 p.m. and more information to follow in terms of location. After an intensive interview process that involved students, parents, staff, and administrators, we welcomed Mr. Ben Eskenazi as our new assistant principal at Windsor High School. And we will do a formal introduction next in August with all our new staff. Yeah. Our teachers and staff participated in a professional development day and a wellness day on February 10th. Not only did they receive training on AI and our new AI program, which is Magic School, they also spent half of the day doing different wellness activities. If you get a chance to ask some of our staff, it was definitely a big hit. Our staff really appreciated that we took time to provide some activities like swimming and yoga and therapy dogs, and it really even walking and talking. So we had teams of teachers walking in different buildings and talking. They just really appreciated that we realized that they need to pause and really get to know each other and engage with each other as colleagues outside of what they do on a daily basis. So that was a big hit. I have received during a small impromptu gathering, actually, with the Windsor Education Foundation, President Paula Pierce presented a check for $14,735 to fund 11 projects across the district. Since the inception of WEF, WEF has funded over 145 grant proposals for Windsor Public Schools, which total over $200,000. So I do want to publicly thank them, and I can't wait to see some of these projects are just amazing ideas that, are above and beyond what we support and what we can fund. So just to have that foundation close to home that supports our projects is just amazing. Our music department, under the leadership of Dr. White, organized an outstanding Black History Month celebration that Ms. Taylor talked about. There's also a celebration coming up for Black History Month on February 26th at 7 p.m. as they pay tribute to the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. This is going to be an epic show, according to Dr. White. You don't want to miss it. Admission is $5, and all proceeds will help the choral department as they travel to Hershey, Pennsylvania, for their upcoming music festival. So moonwalk your way to Windsor High School and enjoy a night of some of your favorites. I will be there, and I hope to see all of you there. And last but not least, my coffee talk. I actually held my coffee talk today, right before our board meeting. It was at Mary's Place here in town. Our next coffee talk will be on Tuesday, March 17th. And also I do have a second one in March, which will happen on Thursday, March 19th. Please RSVP on our website for exact times and locations. And that concludes my report. Questions?
Any questions for Dr. Haiti?
One question.
Yes.
So you got a check from the WEF for $14,000. Are they going to come present that formally? They usually do, don't they?
They wanted to present it to me, so they're not going to come to the board. So
Can we get a list of what they're funding? I'd be curious to know.
You did. It was it was
My wife tells me all the time.
it was linked in my
your box.
Friday update last week.
All right, thank you. I'll check that.
Thank you. Any other questions for Dr. Haiti before we move right along with the school calendar? Okay. Dr. Haiti and Ms. Batchelder.
Want to put the motion out first?
Oh, yeah, yep.
Move the Board of Education accept the proposed 2026-2027 school calendar for a second reading.
Second motion.
Okay, motion on the floor by Mr. Lockhart, seconded by Mr. Panos. Dr. Haiti?
Any questions? We're trying something different next year. First day of school is on Tuesday. Again, feedback from teachers, from students. So we're giving teachers their teacher work day on Monday. And then students are coming in on Tuesday, kind of to ease into the first week of school. If you remember what it felt like to be a student, that first week is the longest week ever. So we're trying to ease kids in.
Go ahead.
So the last day of school's on a Monday.
Yeah, well,
Are we hoping to buffer it with some snow days?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Or if we don't get any snow days, then that will be the 181. So we'll cut it and it will just be 180. So,
I love this. I love
Yeah.
this.
so let's hope for no snow next year.
With this snow,
You never know, right?
you never know. Awesome. No, this is good. Oftentimes people ask me, why are we going to school in August? Back in our day, we went to school in September. Well, here you go.
And we went to school in July, too.
Nearly, almost. Exactly. I think I graduated in June 22nd or something like that. It was very late.
Yeah.
Back in the day, yes, back in the day. Any other questions before we call the question on the, we're just, yeah. Call the vote. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
For the calendar, right?
For the calendar.
This one should not count.
No more budget right now.
Just kidding. So the motion on the floor, is what we're doing now for folks is this is the draft of, the 2026, 2027 calendar as the second reading. Okay, folks? Okay? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, abstentions, ayes have it. Nathan? Mr. Williston?
He's asleep.
Sorry,
Thank you.
I
Motion,
in my head.
motion carries, thank you very much. And back to, Dr. Haiti.
Move the Board of Education to accept the addition to the Windsor High School Program of Studies Marching Band half-credit pass-fail course that will not be included in the students' GPA's calculations.
Second the motion.
Okay, motion on the floor by Mr. Lockhart and seconded by Mr. Panos. Any discussion? Let's start with Dr. Haiti to just give the overview of how we landed here.
So this, if you recall, came out of the reduction that we made for the band courses from 1.4 to 1. We had a task force, we explored different options, and we ended up with adding that half credit. So students who are going to be participating in all the events after school will be allowed to sign up for this half credit. It will not go towards GPA calculation. It will just be a pass-fail course. So we're still providing students with that additional incentive with the credit, but it will be fair across all courses. Yes.
Any questions, Mr.
Yeah,
Massey?
how many times can they take it? Because that was one of the issues too. They were taking that course like 4 times.
So they can take it 4 times,
Okay.
but that's why, because it does not count towards GPA or class rank, it doesn't really matter how many times you take it.
Awesome, thank you.
Any other questions about that? Ms. Otter?
Did Mr. Monroe feel good
Yes,
about
so
this?
he was part of the task force. so,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He wrote the description for the course.
Does the kids know about it yet?
Ms. Davis?
Sorry. Does the kids know about it yet? The students, do they
The
know?
students?
Yeah.
Well,
Any of them?
they know, because we did have students in the task force as
Okay.
part of the task force, so I'm sure they talked about it, but until it becomes,
A reality.
formal, approved, yeah.
Okay.
So it will be added to the program of study, and then students, I think in a couple of weeks, they're gonna start choosing their classes for next year, and that will be on their form, selection form.
Sorry about that, Tracy.
That's all right. Any
Yeah.
other discussion about the motion? All right. If that's the case, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Williston? Any opposition? Abstentions? Okay, the ayes have it. Yeah, right, we gotta catch up. So it looks like the ayes have it, Ms. Daly, 900. Okay, so that's wonderful. Thank you all, and thank you to the task force. I know, Mr. Williston and Ms. Jacobson also sat in, so thank you all who gave in feedback, and we were able to very quickly get that wrapped up. Thank you very much. So, are there, there any committee reports? There aren't any committee reports. I know there is a committee meeting coming up, but there any committee reports? No? Okay. All right, so, next Board of Education regular meeting is Tuesday, March 17th. That is crazy. This year is going by fast. Tuesday, March 17th, 7 p.m., right here in the LPW boardroom. It is, of course, hybrid. Then we have a policy committee meeting Wednesday, February 25th, which is next week at 5:30 p.m., and that is virtual only. Anything to share there, Mr. Chairman of Policy?
Nothing to share.
Okay, great.
Robin, I will be getting to you shortly. Okay.
Okay, wonderful. With that, audience to visitors is where we are on the agenda. Ms. Daly?
Good evening, this is Robin Daly from the Superintendent's Office. If there's anyone from the public that would like to address the board, you may do so in two ways. You may type your name, address, and comment into the Q&A feature in the Zoom application, or you may speak by clicking raise hand or dialing *9 within the app. When you are called on to speak, you will be given 3 minutes to state your name, address, and comment. Please do not place the call on speakerphone, and no comments will be made by the board at this time. There are currently attendees online, but there are no hands raised and no questions or comments.
Thank you, Ms. Daly. Is there anyone in the boardroom that wishes to speak?
Can I just, yeah, just no. I'll be quick. Yes.
I go
know,
down
right?
there.
Yeah,
Question,
just,
Ms.
no, not, can it just be about whatever?
No.
No?
We're on
promise it's
audience
not
to
the budget.
visitors. Let me just close this out real
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
Let me wrap this up in a bow real
Finish
fast. I'll
on
be
that?
right with you.
Yes,
Okay.
If we did 2 seconds.
Okay, so unanimous consent to close audience to visitors. Okay.
boy.
Okay, so we're going to close audience to visitors. Is there a question, Ms. Davis?
No, not a question, just a comment.
Okay.
Yeah, right? It's, can it be about, I just want to talk about a
Yeah,
little
because we
visit real
scooted
quickly.
through announcements, and I never asked if there were announcements, so yes,
Yeah.
sure.
So just really quickly, I just wanted to just piggyback on what you were talking about first, robotics. It was absolutely awesome. Want to say a big shout out to, and if they watch this later, to all the math and science teachers and also the engineering staff that really stick around with these students. It's just absolutely phenomenal to watch. And I went to Blues and Beyond, a fantastic program at OE last week, Thursday, where the group, it was a band, and it was a 3-piece band. They talked about music. And I kid you not, these kindergartners to second grade asked me what they knew about Duke Ellington, Sam Cooke, and James Brown. They were all in it. The energy was fantastic. Just to show you the language of music. It's just absolutely phenomenal to watch these students participate. And so big shout out to Principal Wood for putting that on along with Principal Gruber and all of the people that made it happen. The kids were so well behaved in their little cohorts. It was just so nice. So it was like organized chaos and a fun chaos. It was really nice to watch. Yes, no one all over going in their section where they shouldn't belong. And then the other thing, I participated in this morning, an interview, which is coming out next month, with the little ones. I was interviewed by little second graders today. They were so cute in their little blazers. And of course, I want to say hello to Nancy. She was the interviewer. And Ava, who was the nice little greeter. You should have seen them. And these little chairs, I should have had one of those things. Help me up, right? So, but it was really good. It was fantastic. That's coming out. And just to see these students, it was part of their preparation for Women's History Month. So OE is doing stuff. And it was, yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Any other announcements? Thank you, Ms. Davis. Any other announcements before I ask for a motion to adjourn? Any other announcements?
Try to get it quickly.
No, you got it in. It's all right. Is there a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. The ayes have it. Good night, everyone.
All right.